Hi, and welcome to Michigan Matters. Claressa Shields, in a league of her own, is the best female boxer in the world. She grew up in Flint, won 2 Olympic gold medals, and is undefeated as a professional. She's preparing to defend her heavyweight title in Detroit in just a few weeks. She's here with us to talk about it. Then John Walsh, who runs the Michigan Manufacturers Association, is here to discuss our state's biggest industry. It's a show celebrating an inspiring young woman at the top of her game and working to protect our state's biggest industry. Let's get started.
From CBS Detroit, this is Michigan Matters with Carol Kane. Michigan Matters is brought to you in part by Cure Auto Insurance.
We're so pleased to welcome back Claressa Shields, the first American woman to win gold medal, Olympic medal in boxing, the first American boxer, male or female, to win back-to-back Olympic medals in boxing, who's 17-0 in her professional bouts, who defies and defines inspiration, dedication, talent. She's the GOAT. It's so great to have you, Claressa. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me.
It has been a minute since you and I last talked, and my goodness, there's so much going on in your world. You're doing so many things here. You're getting set, in fact, to have your first undisputed heavyweight title fight against Rashawn Cruz Dezern. I think that's how she pronounces it. Mm-hmm. February 22nd at Little Caesars Arena. And I know you're down in Florida training right now. How's it going?
Training is going great. I was able to get my big win in July, which that was my first time fighting undisputed, my last fight for heavyweight. So I'll be defending my heavyweight undisputed championship, and I'm just really excited. I've been training hard. I've been running. I've been doing ice bath, ice chambers, and a lot of sparring. So I'm really excited for this fight. And I went and had my surgeries on my arms, on my shoulders, and I had 9 months to heal up, and now I'm back and I'm better now. So I'm ready.
When does the training start? I know the race obviously is just in a little over 2 weeks here. When do you start training? Is it something you're staying in training mode after your July fight, or did you take time off? Or
I had to take a lot of time off after the fight after July because I had tears in my shoulders.
Right.
So once I got that taken care of, camp really never stopped because I was still running and everything. I just couldn't punch a bag or punch anything, but camp never really stopped. But I know that I've been in actual camp preparing for this fight way before it got announced. I mean, like October, October, September, even August, I was training for this fight. I didn't know who I would fight against because I kind of make that decision, but then again, it's like I kind of let my team pick. It's like, I don't care who y'all pick. I know that I'm going to be ready and that I can beat anybody.
And nothing says Detroit like autos and professional boxing. This is going back even to Joe Louis, the Brown Bomber, many, many decades ago, and now Claressa Shields here. So you and Rashawn were at the Detroit Auto Show a couple of weeks ago promoting the new fight. How tough a battle are you expecting against her? I know you faced each other once before.
Oh, listen, I'm expecting a very tough battle. Like, Franchon is not a walkover. She's not a pushover. She's very strong. She's very experienced. She doesn't like losing. And then the fact that she's lost to me already in our professional debut when we turned pro 10 years ago. She wants to get her lick back, and she feels that right now is the perfect time. But you know me. And I never have an off day when it comes to a world championship fight, me defending my belts, me making my money. I never have an off night. And I've beaten her already, and she went across the pond and fought against Savannah Marshall, and she lost to her. But when I went across the pond and fought against Savannah Marshall, I won. So she tries to do the things that I've done, and she comes up short. So the only way that she can, actually prove her greatness and prove that she belongs in women's boxing, that she's the best, is if she beats me. And I don't think that she can do that, but I know that she's going to try very, very hard. So I look forward to the fight.
You also made history a couple of months ago. You signed a 2-year deal with Salito Promotions and Win Records. That guarantees at least $8 million for a couple different fights here. I think this is the biggest deal that a female boxer has ever gained. Congratulations to you. And how many fights does it involve?
Yeah, so this is the most lucrative deal in women's boxing. Being able to sign an $8 million deal over 4 fights and a $3 million signing bonus is the biggest deal ever in women's boxing. And I'm happy that I was able to lock it in. I'm grateful for Win Records and Sleater Promotions. And listen, what would I be doing in my career without these guys? Honestly, like I've been with Sleater since my second pro fight, and now we're 17, 18 fights in. And then with Sleater, and then with Win Records, hey, just to be able to see my worth and put the money behind me and actually back me with it the way that they do is very just important to me. And I'm very, very honored, and I feel like a Beyonce in my sport. And that's what it really matters. But it's not 2 million a fight. That's just I signed an $8 million minimum deal. That is the minimum that I will make. I will make up to 15, 20 million, I believe, throughout my 4-year contract.
It's amazing here. We're going to take a quick break here, but before we do, just real quickly, with all the time you're spending training, the Olympics are going on right now. We'll talk about the Olympics in the next segment, but have you had time to watch any of it so far?
Yes, one of my girls is Erin. She is the first African American woman to win the individual ice skating for America, and I was able to meet her in person last year at the Women's Sports Foundation, where I got Sportswoman of the Year, and I got to meet her, and I've been following her, and just seeing her go out there and dominate and win gold medals has just been exciting me. So I'm happy for her and wishing her the best of luck as she continue in the Winter Olympics.
And speaking of continuing, we're going to continue the conversation with Claressa Shields. Take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Michigan Matters. We're talking with the one, the only, the GOAT, Claressa Shields, about her upcoming battle. She's going to be fighting February 22nd at LCA in an undisputed heavyweight fight. Claressa, your story is so incredible. To anybody who doesn't know, truly inspiring. Born and raised in Flint, grew up in tough circumstances, came out. Boxing was your way out. You weren't just good, you were outstanding. There was a movie made about you and your life called The Fire Inside, which anyone flying on a Delta flight, the movie is listed there because I've seen it there too. It's a great movie.
Yes.
You have done so much, not only in the ring, but outside of the ring too, particularly helping women, minorities, others with professional sports parity. It goes back even to the Olympics, when you were in the
Yes.
first Olympics coming back and demanding equal pay. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so when I had first won my first Olympic gold medal, I was 17 years old, and they wanted me to come back and fight for the next Olympics. And I had found out that the men were getting paid $3,000 or $4,000 a month, and at the time I was still getting paid 1,000, but I was Olympic champion. And I said, wow, I wonder if I'm getting paid 1,000, and the guys who didn't even make it to the Olympics and win medals was getting paid 4,000. I wonder what the girls who didn't win any medals are getting paid. And so when that got brought to my attention, I just started asking a lot of questions and having meetings with Team USA and the U.S. Olympic Committee and stuff. And I just was like, hey, we always talking about equality and fairness, and I'm Olympic champion, and I'm not even being paid more than the guys, when in reality, I should be getting paid more than them, and I'm not even being paid equal to them. So when they were talking about going back to 2016 Olympics, I'm like, listen, I would love to come back and represent my country, but this stuff has to change. We have to pay all these females just like we pay the men. And I myself, who is the returning Olympic champion, listen, I need to get paid more than these guys. I actually
Yeah.
won these tournaments and I won the Olympics, and I let them know like it should be incentives for doing great.
Yeah.
And having that talk with them, and they really want me to come back. They put those changes into the forefront, and before me, it was girls who fought for women to just get paid. And it's so
Yeah.
crazy that, even though me and her are going to fight, but Franchon Cruz is one of those women. She came way before me. She
Yeah.
was one of the ones who made sure that women could even start getting a pay for
Right.
the
So
tournament.
do you think, has the environment changed in the time since the time you entered, the professional side of it, as a pro boxer? Has it improved? And just in a nutshell, how would you describe it? Has it gotten better? Has it got a long way to go?
It has gotten a lot better, but it still has a long way to go. I feel like I can say that it's equal to the men when all the women are being paid just
Yeah.
like how, like I'm I'm top tier. And when you're top tier, you get paid like you're top tier. Like Canelo makes the most money over there in men's boxing, and Floyd Mayweather make the most money. And then you come over here, you got I make the most money, and Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Those are the top three girls who make a lot of money in women's boxing. But that's because we're top, like we're cream of the
Right,
crop.
right.
But it's still like the girls under us. I am trying to make it to where, they also get paid
For them.
too, and they can start getting paid more money than what they would usually get paid.
You are at the top of your game, and truly, and you're helping the community in different ways. I know you're very involved with Flint. How much longer do you want to box for?
You know what? It's like I want to box as long as my body lets me fight. I think nobody has beaten mother time, father time, whatever you want to call it. But I just feel like I've made so many life changes to where if I can preserve my body more, because even though I make boxing look so good and I go out there and I'm winning dominantly, but it is hard, these training camps and everything. So the age that I have right now is 38, but it could be sooner or it could be later. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just waiting for my body to say, hey, you got all the fight out of you, and your body is saying, hey, you can't, fight is great no more.
You have been someone who has set goals that seemingly impossible to most folks, accomplish them, and then surpass them. What's your next goal?
Right now, my biggest goal right now is to get February 22nd out the way. And I want to get a big knockout in front of LCA. It is expected to have 18,000 fans there. 18,000 fans coming out to show out for your girl. And I'm just so excited that women's boxing is even on this platform to be able to say that a woman's fight as the main event is having 18,000 people come out and show their face. It's just crazy. That's my first goal. And then after that, I think us as all women, we all want our own kids. And even though I've been helping family take care of their kids forever, it's like I want my own children. So that's something that I think is my next goal. But
Are you setting time aside for that, saying, okay, at this point, you're going to do it? I mean, all right, you're 30 years old, which is very young. But on the other hand, would you want to be in your 40s having children? I don't know.
No, I don't want to be in my 40s having children. I don't. I would like to maybe start. I wanted to start this year, but it's like my ambition with boxing keeps getting in the way. So I wanted to have 2 fights, then start planning for a baby, and then 3 fights, and now it's like 4 fights. So I want to have at least 3 fights this year, and then I can start planning for we can start planning for a baby next year. I just, like I said, it depends on like my ambition makes me just want to keep fighting. And as these girls call me out, I'm like, oh man, I need another 6 months, just to get this one out the way. So.
Well, Claressa Shields, you are the GOAT. Here's what I know. If you say you're going to do it, one thing we can all be sure of, you will accomplish that. So I also want to wish you an early happy birthday. I know you're turning 31 next month. Let me be the first to get that in there.
Thank you so much. Turning 31 is crazy. I haven't thought about my birthday shoot or my birthday party. I've just been so focused on this fight. Oh, man. But thank you. I appreciate that.
Look forward to seeing you on February 22nd. You take good care, my friend.
I will. Thank you.
All right. Take good care. We're back with more Michigan Matters after a quick timeout. Welcome back to Michigan Matters. We're back in studio. I'm pleased to be joined by John Walsh, who's President and CEO of the Michigan Manufacturers Association. How have you been?
I'm doing great, thank you. And thanks for having me on the show. I appreciate it.
Well, you and I have been talking about this, I think, for a couple of years now, and it's like you're always out of town or we're on break or whatever. It just hasn't worked out. But manufacturing is so critical to our state, and everybody watching this right now is impacted by what goes on with manufacturing. The last stats I read about this, Michigan is home to 600,000 manufacturing workers at 12,000 companies involved with auto, electric vehicles, clean energy, technology. My first question is, how is manufacturing in the Great Lakes State going right now?
So overall, our members are feeling, this is anecdotal, but as I talk to our members, they're feeling confident about the year. And that is in all industries, automotive, defense, aerospace, you named a few others. I wouldn't say that they're excited. There's still a lot of nervousness in the air, but there is projects are finally moving forward. So there's a level of confidence.
So MMA, Michigan Manufacturers Association, it's easier to say MMA, started in 1902. How many members does it represent or are involved, and what's the mission today?
So we have 1,700 members. They are everyone from a 20-person tool and die to the largest and iconic companies like Ford and Stellantis and GM, Dow, Hayworth, and so on. Everything in between from those two extremes. And our mission, if I sum it up, it's blocking and tackling. Our job is to get the best legislative environment, the best regulatory environment for our businesses to succeed, to help our smaller businesses have access to excellent services so they can worry about making parts, and also to one of our biggest focuses of the last several years, workforce development.
Yeah, that's a big, big issue.
It is.
Besides workforce development, which we'll get to in a second, what other policies, and I know that's one of the things that your organization does is push for these policies that help manufacturers. Which are the most important one or two issues right now?
So I'll start with an overarching. It's stability and certainty, and then I'll get to some. So the unfortunate part is our legislature and governors over the years have gone through a variety of well-intentioned things, but the constant change and churn is confusing to the business environment and troubling. What we do focus on is consistency in tax policy as a very important item. Some consistency in, you can call it economic gardening, working with businesses that are here or attracting businesses, but making that consistent. We've had a variety of programs we've supported. I'll tell you, I think our state is fairly competitive over time, but we have spikes and valleys. So we're really trying to find what is that policy that we can take forward for 10 to 15 years, not a year and a half.
Yeah. Big issue that has gone on the last year with the new administration in Washington are tariffs. Speaking of uncertainty, the evolving numbers, the percentages, who's in, who's out on all of this. How has that specifically impacted manufacturers here?
So for our members, I'll tell you, after polling and then individual sit-downs across the state throughout the year last year, 10, 15 groups at a time, what they're saying is some feel that they've benefited from the tariffs. Some have been impacted. Others, it's the uncertainty. It's the uncertainty that's crushing them all, though. It's suppressing some level of marketability, pricing, and so on. They understand the goals. They would like their products to be able to be sold overseas tariff-free. They want their products coming in to be tariff-free. We'd like those open markets. But the uncertainty, and it's almost daily, Carol. It was last year. It's stabilized a bit early this year. That's what's crushing them. You can't make a decision if you don't know what you're...
Well, are they holding back on plans? And in other words, if you don't know if you need these parts, which are going to have an additional tariff put on, and which is going to prohibitively make it, you can't make this part here, or make this whatever it is you're doing. Are they canceling plans?
They were last year. And what happened, as I talked about the confidence in the industry, at some point you either move forward or die, period. So regardless of the circumstances that face your business, you have to move forward with your plans or sell or close. You can't stay in perpetual, you can't stay standing still. That's what I'm trying to get to. So what they're doing is making their decisions to move forward. There's some calm in the water at the moment, but that could change quickly. So our goal is figure it out country by country or region by region, leave them in place and let us do our business.
Okay, so listen, speaking of uncertainty, the Gordie Howe International Bridge, which is supposed to be opening sometime in the very near future here, the president came out and announced he was going to possibly stop it from opening as a result of what's going on with Canada. In a word, how are your members responding to this?
Angry. If you need a single word, upset would be another one. This has been in the works for a dozen years. We are working with our members and the Bridge Authority, the provincial government, and the federal government on how to get trucks back and forth. It's commercials, of course, our focus.
Right.
So we've been working closely with folks, wonderful folks, on trade that will benefit both countries.
Yeah, and there's so much more to say about it, but you know what? We need to take a quick break. We'll be back with John Walsh in conversation right after this. And welcome back. We're talking with John Walsh, who runs the Michigan Manufacturers Association, about manufacturing in our state. And John, you were mentioning about talent and workforce development, which are critical issues here for manufacturers, all businesses, but manufacturing in particular. How do you think we're doing at preparing people, young people, for these jobs in manufacturing / advanced manufacturing?
I think we're coming around. It took a long time for the state of Michigan to respond to the need in manufacturing, and it is the #1 need for quality people coming through. And we're seeing some investments from the legislature, some direction from the governor's office. Although we're a little disappointed, Going Pro was a big program. She dropped that out of her budget yesterday. We're hoping to get that back in. That's money for folks already in the industry to move forward.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I got to be confident that we'll get it back.
We'll get it back here. And just real quickly, AI, which is a very complicated subject as far as its toll and impact on manufacturing. Lots of folks think this is going to cut jobs out of manufacturing. Your thoughts about AI and its immediate impact?
It'll be a disruptor. There's no question. But the folks that understand how to use AI in their job are the ones that are going to succeed and move forward. And so as industry and individuals move forward, I think it's promising in terms of productivity in the future for our state and our industry.
When you look for just quick opportunity for Michigan, what's the one area you look at Michigan saying there's great potential for Michigan there?
I would say our academic programs at the university and community college level, phenomenal. And we just have to capture those students and their imaginations and keep them here.
I know there's many more things here we want to say, but I started the show talking about sports. And before we go, I just want to throw in a quick thought and ask you something after. I want to talk about sports a second as we offer up our commentary for the week. There's been a whirlwind of activity in Michigan athletics lately, and on our end, we've had lots of topics to talk about. The stunning dismissal of former head coach Sharon Moore rocked the industry and our community. U of M Athletic Director Ward Manuel also acted swiftly and by all accounts effectively in the hiring of Kyle Whittingham, a proven winner whose picture should be right next to the word integrity in Webster's dictionary to replace him. After multiple scandals and violation, Whittingham is exactly what the football program needs. And as for the numerous Manuel naysayers, let's hope they're as vocal about Whittingham's hire and the success of hires in basketball and hockey as they have been about everything else. And I know we don't normally talk sports here, John, but I know you're a huge Michigan State fan here. Yeah. So what do you think about Whittingham's hire?
So I like the hire very much. I think he is going to be solid for that program. I hope he's just not solid enough that Michigan State can beat Michigan again.
So you also have a new football coach, Pat Fitzgerald, up in MSU, Spartan Village, Spartan Land, if you will. And I know you go to a lot of the games there. Your thoughts about him?
Very excited. I think he's going to fit the school really well, fit the team really well. And when I talk to folks, my friends from Michigan State, we're all upbeat. So we're looking forward to a good season.
When we talk manufacturing, we often talk about autos and whatever, but there's a lot of sports manufacturing of products here too, isn't there?
Oh, there are. And, I went to a facility just the other day building a new fangled deer stand.
There we go.
So
hunting is huge.
On and on and on. You name it, we build it here.
Yeah, well, manufacturing is really, really critical. Do you expect to be able to convince up in Lansing to undo what they did in terms of cutting back the...
Yeah, I think on Going Pro, there's a lot of support for it. And as a former budget director for Rick Snyder, I understand the to and fro. Yeah. So we're disappointed, but not worried.
Are you as optimistic about the new Gordie Howe Bridge being opening?
We're going to raise our voice and make that as a priority as much as possible and hope we prevail because it is extraordinarily important.
It's so many years, so many decades, thousands of people, lots of energy on both sides of the political aisle to get that done.
There's no doubt. And it's a huge friend and ally.
John Walsh, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next Sunday for a little bit more Michigan Matters.